What's going on, everybody? For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below and you turn on your bell for the notifications so you never miss out on any of the videos that I post. I post videos on lifestyle, obtaining your dream life, and I also share my YouTube journey and tips along the way that you don't want to miss. Now, with that being said, there is nothing like having peace in your life. Peace at home, peace on your job, peace in relationships. So today we're talking all about protecting your peace. So my first tip is to not let one bad thing steal your joy for the day. So what I love to do is start my mornings off with a moment of gratitude. I once heard this quote that says, "Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today it's a gift." And that's why we call it the present. I always thought it was such a cute quote because it's just a reminder that today's another day that we've got an opportunity to go after what we want in life. So for example, if you get cut off in traffic or your boss flies off at the handle or you don't get chosen for an opportunity, don't let that ruin your day. Shake it off and keep it pushing. So my next tip is to step away from negativity. It's just like that theory that says energy is never destroyed, merely passed on from person to person. So that's why it's so important to stay around positive and uplifting people. Because have you ever felt like you had the most amazing day and then you get around someone that's super negative and all of a sudden you leave that conversation and you feel down? That's pretty much what can happen when you're around negative people, and then that can start to drain you. So for example, if someone wants to argue with you, just let them argue all by themselves. Let them know that if they want to have a real conversation with you, they certainly can. But until then, just keep it pushing. Now, don't get me wrong, talking things out is great and it can build strong communication. However, if that person is raising their voice, speaking negatively to you, talking down to you, or simply just trying to argue, let them know where you draw the line. So let that conversation rest for a moment. You never want to say something that you don't mean. Take a moment before you pick up that conversation. Sometimes people just try to bait you just to get a reaction out of you. They throw out their line hoping you'll bite. But the key is not to take the bait. So my next tip is to know your limits when it comes to politics and the news. Politics are a good example. Know how to navigate those conversations and know when it's time to pull away. Don't get sucked in too much to the news where it's just taking over your life and it kind of brings you down. Let's be honest, the news is extremely negative. And so my recommendation would just be watch enough news to know what's going on, but don't let the news consume your life. So next, let's talk about social media. I've seen so many news stories of effects of what social media can do, specifically Instagram and teenagers, how that makes them feel after being on the platform. And so I think it's just important to know what your limits are. How do you feel after scrolling through so many posts? I think one thing to keep in mind, specifically like Instagram, is that you're seeing someone's highlight reel. Don't get sucked into thinking someone else's life is perfect and wanting that. You never want to wish for someone else's life, right? Because you don't know what they're going through behind the scenes. They're showing you their highlight reel, the best things that are happening in their life, but you certainly don't know everything else that goes on behind closed doors. But the last thing I'll say on that is just keep an eye on what you're consuming and what that does to you. Does it fuel you? Does it drain you? Are you feeling good after watching that? Just keep that in mind. So next, let's talk about music. Music can have an effect on your peace and your energy. So keep in mind how you feel when you're listening to it. Does it make you feel uplifted? Does it give you a lot of energy? You're amped up, you're excited? Does it relax you? Is it calming? Or does it put you in a negative headspace? So next, let's talk about people in your life that are just bringing negativity. So sometimes you may want to just weed those people out of your life, and other times you may not be able to do that. However, you can limit your time with those people, or you can just let them know, hey, this is where I draw the line, and I'm not about all this negativity. Let's talk about how you can protect your peace on your job. For example, if you have a boss that just speaks negatively towards you, talks down to you, and you're still at that job for whatever reason, by all means, protect your peace. And just remember that someone else's opinion of you is just that, their opinion. And the truth and the bottom line is what they think about you is none of your business. So another tip about protecting your peace at work is having a good work-life balance. And so for example, if you're always available to your job, for example, you have your work email on your phone, or your job can always get a hold of you at a touch of a button, then that can start to creep in your personal life. So for me, I don't put any of my work email or anything on my phone that contains my job. If they need to get a hold of me, they can wait till the next time I'm in the office. Now, on the other hand, if you have your own small business or something like that, of course, you're going to probably want to have that on your phone so you can always know what's going on, because usually small businesses, you're the main one that's running the company. And so just keep it in mind that, hey, you need to step away at a certain point. So you could say, hey, I'm only going to work this many hours, and then I'm gonna shut it down. Let's talk about protecting your peace, surrounding your dreams that you wanna achieve. So if someone doesn't believe in you or your dreams, try moving in silence. Feel free to check out my video on that. I walk you through how you can move in silence while trying to accomplish your goals and your dreams. But ultimately, just remember this, that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. So go ahead and let them underestimate you. At the right time and at the right place, you will have that pull back the curtain moment and all will be revealed. So my next tip is to know your triggers. What triggers you in conversations? What's that button that should not be pushed? And so if that happens in a conversation, you can just let them know that, hey, I'm not going to talk about this, and know when to pull away from certain conversations. So what I usually do is I'll just tell a joke, and that person knows, hey, we're not going there, but we're gonna leave this conversation on a positive note. So one of the most important things about protecting your peace is knowing how to relieve stress. So you really want to keep in mind, what things can you do to relieve stress? And so, for example, laughter is a great way to relieve stress. So what I love to do is I'll watch my favorite comedians on YouTube and just have a good laugh. So one stand-up comedian that I just found on YouTube, his name is Sebastian Maniscalco. I hope I'm saying his last name right, but he is so funny. I love watching his videos. So if you're looking for a new comedian to watch, check out his videos. So my favorite way to relieve stress is through prayer and meditation, because it absolutely works every time. You want to believe that that issue is going to be fixed at the right place and at the right time. But the key thing to remember is that you don't want to pick that worry and stress back up, because it really defeats the purpose. You want to pray about it, believe that it's going to be fixed, and leave it there. So my last tip to relieve stress is through exercise. Exercise is a great way to relieve stress because it creates endorphins. It leaves you on a positive high after your workout. And for me, literally after I get done working out, I'm bouncing around because I've got so much energy from that workout. So I always have to remind myself, hey, this is gonna give me a lot of energy. Sometimes I don't feel like working out, but when I think about how much energy I'm gonna get from a good workout session, I'm here for it. So the reason why I'm telling you all these ways to relieve stress is because stress can have such a negative impact on your body, and you don't want that to happen. So just figure out different ways on how you enjoy relieving stress. So my next tip to protect your peace is to avoid burnout. So one question you want to ask yourself is, how much time are you spending doing the things that you love? Because oftentimes, if you feel burnt out, that can mean that you're not spending enough time doing the things that give you joy, that give you energy, and things that you love to do. So when you don't spend enough time doing the things that you love to do, that can drain your energy. So think about it. What are the hobbies that you love to do? What are the things that would give you joy, that would give you energy, that you can incorporate into your life? Maybe there's things that you would love to do, but you've simply pushed them aside because you feel like you're too busy. But make room for the things that you love to do. Doing things that you love to do will give you peace. So my next tip is to have a place of peace that you can go to. So for those of you that are single, maybe home is your place of peace. So for those of you who live with other people, try to carve out some space that you can go to just to relax and get your mind off of things. So for example, it could be a man cave, a beauty room, or even simply a garage that you could go to, let the door up, get a cold drink, and just relax. So while we're talking here, let me know in the comments, what's your favorite way of protecting your peace? Maybe something that you're doing can help somebody else. So definitely let us know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. So I hope these tips were helpful on ways that you can protect your peace. So until next time, I'll see you later.